Welcome back to Discover Top 5, the channel where we explore the most fascinating rankings, from the world's most incredible cities to the most alarming global issues. Today, we're diving into a topic that's both troubling and thought-provoking. Cities are usually symbols of progress, development, and culture, but what happens when they start facing a collapse? What's behind the decline of once booming urban centers? In this video, we're going to take an in-depth look at 10 Canadian cities that are struggling in 2025. These cities, which were once full of promise, are now grappling with issues like rising crime rates, housing crises, economic instability, and the undeniable impacts of climate change. But it's not just about what's going wrong. By looking at these cities closely, we can better understand the broader challenges affecting not just Canada, but cities around the world. We'll also explore the efforts these cities are making to turn things around and what needs to happen next to ensure a sustainable future. So buckle up and get ready as we uncover the top 5 cities that could be facing a turning point in 2025. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe to Discover Top 5 so you never miss a ranking that sheds light on the biggest global issues. Let's jump right in. Next up is Winnipeg, a city known for its harsh winters and vibrant culture. But behind the scenes, the city is facing some major financial troubles. Winnipeg is staring down a projected $20.5 million deficit for 2024, which is about 1.5% of its budgeted expenditures. This shortfall points to larger issues in fiscal management, with rising costs in things like snow clearing and ice management eating into city funds. The increasing budget for snow removal suggests a lack of foresight in preparing for the harsh winter months. Mother Nature is also making things tough for Winnipeg. The city regularly faces severe weather, from thunderstorms and hail to lightning and tornadoes. These weather events cause massive disruptions and costly repairs to infrastructure, making it difficult to keep the city running smoothly. It's as if Winnipeg is constantly playing a never-ending game of whack-a-mole, with every storm costing millions of dollars and leaving lasting damage behind. Winnipeg is also facing environmental challenges. Lake Winnipeg, a vital water source, is suffering from excess nutrients like phosphorus and nitrogen, which led to algae blooms and poor water quality. These environmental issues are creating a cycle of negative impacts on the city's residents and wildlife, and the city's efforts to mitigate them are critical to preventing further damage. Moving on to Quebec City, this city is famous for its rich history, charming architecture, and unique culture. But even Quebec City isn't immune to struggles. Its economy is reliant on tourism, which, while booming in good times, can also experience downturns due to external factors like global events or local economic issues. The heavy dependence on this sector leaves Quebec City vulnerable to economic instability, especially when the tourism industry faces disruptions. The city is also battling environmental challenges. Like many urban areas, Quebec City struggles with pollution and waste management. Trying to find sustainable solutions that don't break the bank is a delicate balancing act. The city's infrastructure is aging, and modernizing it without losing its historic charm is a constant struggle. Demographic shifts also threaten Quebec City's long-term sustainability. With an aging population and younger generations migrating to larger cities for better opportunities, Quebec City is finding it harder to attract and retain young talent. The shrinking workforce could result in a decline in services and a diminished tax base, which would ultimately affect the city's ability to grow and thrive. Next, we have Edmonton. While it's the capital of Alberta and known for its energy industry, the city is dealing with several pressing issues. First, Edmonton is facing a looming budget shortfall of $88 million, largely due to inflation and declining revenue. This could lead to higher property taxes, which residents are already dreading. Edmonton is also experiencing significant challenges in its real estate market. While single-family home sales are expected to rise, rental vacancy rates are the lowest they've been in a decade. This puts pressure on renters who are seeing rental rates climb dramatically, making it even harder to secure affordable housing. On top of that, Edmonton's economy has been heavily dependent on the energy sector, particularly oil sands projects and mining operations. But with the rise of climate change debates and policy shifts towards cleaner energy, the energy industry's future is uncertain. Edmonton has made strides in diversifying its economy with sustainability initiatives, but the shift is slow and still facing obstacles. Moreover, Edmonton faces issues with job shortages in key sectors like IT, energy management, and construction. With a growing demand for skilled workers and limited job opportunities in some fields, the city's job market is still feeling the strain. Let's head to Calgary next. Known for its oil and gas industry, Calgary's economy has been through many cycles of boom and bust. The city's real estate market has fluctuated wildly, mirroring the ups and downs of global oil prices. This makes Calgary's economy particularly volatile, as the energy sector remains a major driver of growth and decline. While Calgary has been working hard to diversify its economy by attracting tech companies and fostering innovation, it's been a slow process. The city is also struggling with housing afford, as rising interest rates are making home ownership harder for many. Though Calgary's real estate market is more affordable than places like Toronto or Vancouver, the increase in rental prices is putting a squeeze on both renters and would-be homeviewers. Calgary's young and dynamic population is one of its greatest assets, fueling growth and innovation. However, the city needs to balance its reliance on the energy sector with efforts to build a more diversified economy. Despite strides towards sustainability, the road ahead is still fraught with challenges. Now, let's talk about Ottawa, Canada's capital. You'd think being the political heart of the country would make Ottawa immune to economic struggles, but unfortunately, that's not the case. Ottawa's economy is heavily reliant on the federal government, which is the city's largest employer. The threat of job cuts in the federal public service could have severe repercussions for the city's economy. In addition, Ottawa is bracing for the possibility of a trade war between Canada and the US under the leadership of President Donald Trump.
The disruption in trade would have a significant impact on Ottawa's businesses, particularly those close to the US border. Add to that the rising threat of natural disasters like floods, ice storms, and heat waves, and Ottawa's infrastructure and resources are under increased strain. With the federal government reducing office space by 50% and budget cuts affecting vital services, Ottawa faces a rocky road ahead. Moving on to Vancouver, the city's scenic views and vibrant culture make it a desirable place to live, but the cost of living is a different story. Housing prices have been skyrocketing for years, making Vancouver one of the most unaffordable cities in Canada. With such high housing costs, it's not just residents who are feeling the pinch, businesses are too, as people leave the city in search of affordable living. Vancouver's economy is closely tied to international trade, especially with Asia. With rising global tensions, particularly between the US and China, Vancouver could be caught in the middle of a trade war. Tariffs and trade restrictions could disrupt supply chains, impacting industries from tech to tourism. On top of that, Vancouver is increasingly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. Floods and wildfires are becoming more frequent, threatening the city's infrastructure and emergency services. These environmental challenges are exacerbating the pressures Vancouver is already facing, creating a perfect storm of economic, social, and environmental issues. Next, Montreal is another Canadian city that faces a unique set of challenges. The city has experienced demographic shifts, with a decline in population growth and a significant exodus of residents. Montreal is struggling with a migratory imbalance, where more people are leaving than coming in. This results in a shrinking tax base and fewer resources for public services, making it harder for the city to stay afloat financially. The cost of living in Montreal has also been steadily rising, with home prices expected to increase by 7% in 2025. This is putting additional strain on residents, many of whom are already burdened by high taxes and traffic congestion. Montreal's infrastructure and public services are also facing challenges. The public health system is dealing with significant budget cuts, leading to longer wait times and reduced access to care. With job shortages in air traffic control, delays and cancellations are affecting the city's travel and tourism sector.
Finally, let's talk about Toronto, Canada's largest city. Toronto is facing a serious housing crisis, with rental vacancy rates at a shockingly low 0.5%. With such high demand and limited supply, finding a place to rent is nearly impossible. Rent prices have soared, leaving many residents struggling to afford a home. And the situation is only getting worse in 2025. The city is also grappling with climate change, as extreme weather events like heavy rainfall and thunderstorms are increasingly common. Toronto is particularly vulnerable to urban flooding, as its extensive concrete coverage prevents rainwater from being absorbed into the ground. This creates a strain on the city's storm sewer systems, leading to frequent flooding. Social issues, such as homelessness and food insecurity, are also taking a toll on Toronto. Despite being a thriving commercial and financial hub, not everyone in the city benefits from its economic growth. The Action Plan for Toronto's Economy 2025-2035 aims to address these disparities, but the road ahead is long and difficult.
And there you have it, 10 Canadian cities that are facing major struggles in 2025. These cities are grappling with a variety of challenges, from economic uncertainty to housing crises and the threat of environmental disasters. It's clear that the issues they're dealing with are not just local, but reflective of larger global trends that many cities around the world are beginning to face. While these cities have been through a lot, the real question is, what can be done to help them turn things around? Will they rise above these challenges, or will they continue down a path of decline? Only time will tell. But as we've seen, these struggles don't define these cities forever. Many of them have resilient people and visionary leaders who are fighting to change the course and bring back prosperity and stability. It's crucial for us to stay informed, understand the challenges, and consider how we can play a role in helping cities evolve, adapt, and thrive again. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about the cities we discussed today? Do you believe they can recover? Or do you think the road to recovery is too steep? Maybe there are other cities you think should have made this list. Let me know in the comments below. Your thoughts and insights mean a lot to us, and they help make these discussions even more interesting. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the cities of Canada, don't forget to hit the like button and share this video with your friends or anyone who loves exploring the stories behind the rankings. And if you're new to Discover Top 5, welcome to our community. We're so glad you're here. We put out videos regularly that dive into all sorts of rankings, from the world's most fascinating places to critical issues we all need to pay attention to. So, if you haven't already, subscribe to Discover Top 5 and make sure you click that notification bell so you'll always be the first to know when we upload our next video. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Until next time, take care of yourselves, stay curious, and remember, whether a city is rising or falling, it's the people who make it worth discovering. I'll see you in the next video.